Call me crazy, Juliette, but I like it. I like having to stay home. I just looked at the calendar and saw how many months I've been sheltering in place. You could have knocked me over with a feather. I had no idea. I know it doesn't seem like yesterday, but time has just become suspended, out of time, no time. What it makes me think of is Buddhist monks meditating on corpses, being conscious of death. It makes us more alive because there's not that much time left. It is fleeting left and right, and we're next. We're next in line. I first felt that when Mom and Dad died. Don't know about you, sister, but I realized there was no one else standing between me and Mr. Death. I had lost my buffer, my safety net. No longer could I blame them for what was wrong with me. From then on, I'd be talking about them in the past tense. It was all up to me from then on. But I digress. What I want to talk about is staying at home. As a matter of fact, I rather like it. I no longer have to think about doing something with my life. Irresponsible, the right thing to do is to stay at home, draw your curtains, put on some music. Life's a low-key party. Everyone's here who should be, and that's me. Reminds me of a time many years ago when I had a freelance job with difficult deadlines. Every week I had so many pages. I think it was about 20. I rarely left the house then either. I stayed in my pajamas all day. And then when I noticed that the street lamps were coming on, I threw on some clothes and went out to dinner. After dinner, sometimes I worked and sometimes I just went to bed and got up the next day and did the same thing all over again. I ate the same thing day after day after day, wore the same clothes, cranked out the same number of pages. I loved it. When the project was over, I still stayed in. I couldn't go out for weeks afterwards except to get supplies. Finally, when I ran out of money, I had to leave the apartment. It was so painful to do that. I just sat down on the curb and wept. Guess I've never told you about that before. A long time went by before I could get on my feet. If I could have, I would have stayed at home forever. I think I may be at that point again, but even with my modest retirement, perhaps I'll be able to stay in forever. Well, there you have it. There you have it, sister. But I haven't asked about you. How are you doing? How are you?
Well, Ralph, I heard Cindy Zoomed you and told you what's up with him. Me? I'm headed in the opposite direction, a complete 180. I not only can't wait to get out of my apartment for good, but I can't wait to get out of here, period. This town, this state, I've had it with Stamford, Connecticut. There's just no upside here anymore. It's all down, down, down. Lordy. As soon as I'm able, I'm getting out of here and I'm going to the Southwest. You're probably wondering where. I've already told my sister, your wife, but now it's time to tell my brother-in-law. Santa Fe. I've been thinking about it so long, it's invaded my dreams. When I wake up at night to pee, I sometimes think I'm climbing down the ladder from my pueblo. Shades of sand in the morning mist. Bells tolling from a distant mission. Indian women decked out in their colorful red and black skirts. Their scoop-neck blouses with fanciful trim and billowy sleeves, and headbands straining to lug their baskets filled with handmade wares to sell at the open markets. And when they get there, musicians are strumming guitars, polished by years of use, and singing about their struggle fighting off the Union soldiers. Beautiful dark-eyed children help their elders and then play tag in the early morning until it gets busy. Then they help their parents at the market and charm the tourists who tuck small change into their empty pockets, feeling good about themselves for being so generous. Oh, Lordy, what an image. I know it pains me a bit to realize that I will become one of those gringos, but I will not be patronizing. No, I will treat them with love and respect, as if they were my own. Maybe I'll even be able to adopt one. Or maybe I won't have to. Maybe I'll meet a tall, dark, and handsome man who would like to settle down with a woman of a certain age. I'm not too old for that, do you think? Oh, don't answer that, please. I can see you're covering up a laugh. Don't do that either. A girl can dream, can't she? And oh, Lordy, I have my dreams. What this whole pandemic has made me realize is that there are no certainties. Of course, there never were, but I wasn't paying much attention. Now there's no getting away from it anymore. The days are dwindling down to a precious few. It's no more ands, ifs, or buts. Make it happen or get off the pot. Life is drip, drip, dripping away. Dreams deferred are not going to cut it anymore. And if there's something you always wanted to do, that moment has arrived. It's here. It's now. There are no two ways about it. The coronavirus has been a warning from the big guy in the sky, and I'm getting the message loud and clear, and I'm paying attention. Lordy. Well, enough about Meshuggah and me. How are things with you? I heard you talk to Sidney, who told you about how he's enjoying staying at home. And now you've heard about my hopes and dreams. Why don't you think this over for a little while before responding? I know it's a lot to take in, but I can't wait to hear what you think. Perhaps you can Zoom Sidney and me together when you have time. Take care.
Okay, there's Sid. Good. I want to talk to both of you. You each Zoom me, and it seems you both want to know what I think. I wasn't able to react then, but I will now. Pardon me for having to read a lot of this. I wanted to get it all down, and I'm not as young as I used to be. I didn't want to forget something. You might both be acquainted with that idea of forgetting things. Let me just say this. Far be it from me for criticizing other people's plans and goals, but just because they're different from mine. But in my opinion, the two of you have gone completely round the bend. You're both as crazy as bed bugs. Sid, you seem to be planning on staying indoors for the rest of your days. The first thing that comes to mind is that you're clutching onto a life preserver in the middle of an angry ocean. The second is that you're Anne Frank hiding out from the Nazis. The third is that you're the reincarnation of Siddhartha. It sounds to me, Sid, like you're going to remain inside because you're afraid of your own shadow. When the coronavirus is over, a memory like the Spanish flu, will you still be hiding behind the curtain, Sid? Lost in a fog of agoraphobia? Are you going to spend the rest of your life preparing for death? In the end, I guess you'll win, but what a hollow victory that'll be. And as for you, Juliette, you're going to move out to Santa Fe, one of the most expensive places in the country, without the proverbial pot to piss in? No money to speak of, no place to stay, just a fanciful dream? Dreams are important, but it helps when they have some grounding in reality. Now, if you were college age, my dear, that would be one thing. But you're older than I am, and I'm retired. Sid, I know you're focused on death, and I guess you feel this is helping you to face that final curtain. Okay, I guess I get that. But you're spending so much time getting ready that your actual death might be a letdown. When the time comes, it could be anticlimax. It makes me think of that old Peggy Lee song, "Is That All There Is, My Friends?" And you, my dear Juliette, you seem to be going in the opposite direction. Like you said to me, a 180, but just as unrealistic. At least Sidney's got a place to live, if you can call it living. You, however, won't have a place to stay. Not much money that I'm aware of. And I think all of us are past the age when we can sell our bodies, except as cadavers to medical schools. So I don't see how it computes. I know I was a numbers cruncher all my working life and hated every minute of it. But I did learn that numbers don't lie. People lie, but numbers tell the stark truth. You either got it or you don't. So here's what I propose. I'm going to rent a new Hyundai Santa Fe for the two of you. It's a nice car, and it'll get you there and back. I'm going to give you a credit card for traveling and staying there for 2 weeks. I don't expect you to stay at a Trump hotel, but I don't think there's one out there anyway. Pick something reasonable. Look around, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. So what do we accomplish with this? One of you gets out of the house, and the other accomplishes her dream without robbing a bank. I know you've heard me say this before. I love London ever since college. I've loved that historic city. But I don't own a house there. I go there every chance I get. I've had some of the best experiences of my life there. And as soon as I leave, I'm thinking about when I'm going back. But you can love something without having to own it. Just tell me when the two of you want to go on this journey, and I'll make it happen. I'll FedEx a credit card, and have a car ready for pickup. Now I've got to leave this meeting, and I've got to take my lovely wife, that sister of yours, shopping, and she's going to spend me out of house and home. But let me know what you decide when you're ready to leave. Bye for now.